Good morning, girls. In the previous session of J2EE, we started learning the session tracking method, right? In the example, we had gone through how to create a session and how we can access the values assigned for that session, right? And today we want to learn how to delete a session data. But before we start learning how to delete a session data, let us recall whatever we have done in the previous session, because it is related with our current session also, right? So let us begin. The session object is a method of session tracking, one of the method of session tracking, right? In previous lecture we discussed about cookies, hidden URL rewriting and hidden form field method, and one of the method is session object. JSP by default create session tracking enabled, and I repeat, by default JSP have a session tracking enabled, and a new HTTP session object is always instantiated for each new client by default and automatically. If you want to disable the session track, then you have to give an explicit command, and that you can do with the help of page directive by setting a session attribute to false. Right here you can see the syntax how we can make it false. Then we had gone through some methods which are related to session object. They are get attributes, set attribute, get attribute names, then get creation time, get ID, get last access time, is new, and remove attribute, right? Invalidate one of the method. These are the methods that you can get that you can use for getting a data of your current session. We had gone through one example. We defined one file with name main.jsp. Let us revise it. For that, open your NetBeans IDE. We have already created one project with name prg_11, right? And we have already created one JSP file with name main.jsp. Open it. As you can see what we have done in this page, here we imported one package with page directive, and we set an import attribute. The package name is java.util. If you want to use date class in your file, for that you need java.util package, right? Here we have given one comment, get session creation time. Get session creation time for getting a creation time of session. We created one object with name create time, right? And this method will return a creation time for your session, right? That is assigned to this object. Create one more object with name last access time of type date, and in this subject we will store the last access time of session, right? That we can get with the help of get last access time. That will be assigned to this object. Now define one integer object with name visit count. Initialize this object with 0, and one string type object, and initialize this with the value a, b, c, d, right? Then we will check whether the client is sending a request for the first time, means the person who is accessing the web page is a newcomer for our web page, right? If it is accessing for the first time, then this if condition will initialize, right? This will be executed because here we have used the method is new. This will return either true or false. If it is for the first time, this will return true, and if condition if block will be executed. Inside the if block, we have a set attribute for the session user ID and initialize with the value A, B, C, D, right? And the second session is visit count. Here visit count is equals to 0, as we have initialized this variable with 0. We are setting the attributes for user ID and visit count for the first time visit, right? And if it is not if the client is not visiting for the first time, then in that case this method will return false, and the block of if condition will not be executed. Control will come on the directly come on the line number 18. Now here we are getting the last value of visit count, and we are increasing whatever last value by 1, and that we will assign that value to a variable visit count in the same variable. Okay, in the same way we are getting whatever stored in user ID in the variable user ID. See, here user ID is a name of session that we initialize over here for the first time, right? And whatever we have stored in this variable, we are assigning that value to this variable one more time. Okay, so ABCD will indirectly come in this variable. Now set the attribute visit count using set attribute method, as we are changing the value of visit count. And user ID, here no need to set user ID attribute. Why? Because there is no change in user's name. But here in page visit counting, we want to change the value every time whenever we visit the same web page by sending a request from the same web browser. We want to increase whatever value last time we assigned to visit count, that we want to increase by 1. Okay, now we'll print all the values with the help of different objects and methods, right? Here session.getID, this will print a value which is not we do not get this value, right? It creates the session ID by itself. Then create time we can get with the help of this object. Then last access time will get with the help of this object. Then user ID is ABCD, as you know that, and visit count, as we are increasing every time by 1. Whenever you refresh your page, the value of visit count will be changed by 1. Okay, this will increase by 1. So this was the program we have learnt in our previous session. We show the output of this program. Same program we will use for destroying our session. As I told you that there are some ways you can destroy your session. They are listed here. These options are listed here. The first one is remove attribute. As a parameter, we are sending a name of that session, right? String name is a parameter for this method. This method will return nothing. That's why here you can see the return data type is void. This method is used to delete the value associated with a particular key. Here key means the name you have specified in the bracket, right? Actually the name is our session, and this is considered as a key. Whatever value is associated with this name will be deleted. Okay. The second way is to delete the whole session. Here what we are doing is we are removing a particular attribute for a session. In the second way, we can delete the whole session. Means we are deleting the whole session, right? The return data type of this method is void. Method name is invalidate and it does not have any parameter. It does not have any parameter. This method is called to discard an entire session you have created for your web page. Okay, and the third way is web.xml configuration file. As you know that whenever you create your project, the web.xml file automatically created by the NetBeans, right? Let us switch to NetBeans. Here expand the web.inf folder, web.xml. We are in general tab, move to the XML tab. As you can see, some of the properties are by default, these are set, right? You can change it. This is our XML file. Okay, in the source package there is nothing. Any of the example you expand it, example number 10, expand the web.inf. Here also again you can see web.xml file. Okay, for servlet you can create a web XML. So these are the two ways you can mention the attribute session timeout, right, in your web XML file, or else you can destroy your session or session attribute by using remove attribute method or by using invalidate method. Now let us try to understand how we can remove it. Here I have taken one JSP page with name destroy.jsp, right? So let us create destroy.jsp, switch back to NetBeans and expand your example number 11, program number 11. Right click on web pages, click on new and select JSP. Here I am giving a name destroy, all in small. Okay, new JSP page is created now. Switch back to our document. Here remove all unnecessary part. See, here HTML tag is required, so we will remove all these things. Then meta tag, we will remove it. Now body tag, consider the body tag. Here it is. Here we will initialize our scriptlet tag, end of scriptlet tag. Whatever you want to write, whatever Java code you want to write, you must enclose that code in this tags, right? When we started this chapter, I explained you everything about the scriptlet tag. Here we want to create one variable with name visit count. Actually this is an object of type integer, not a variable. If you want to create a variable, you can write like this int, but here I don't want to create a variable. Instead of that, I want to create an object of type integer. That's why I have taken the class name integer over here. Okay, same as previous page, main.jsp. Here also I am creating two different objects of type integer and of type string. The names are visit count and user ID respectively. I initialize visit count with 0 and initialize user ID with the value A, B, C, D. Okay, if you have observed the main JSP, the same value we have assigned in our previous page also. Visit count equals to 0 and user ID equals to A, B, C, D. This is related to previous one, as I told you. Now with the help of get attribute, we will get the user ID value, whatever value assigned to user ID, that we will get with the help of get attribute method, and that value we will assign in the object user ID. Fine. Now visit count will find whatever value is assigned to visit count, that again we will get with the help of get attribute, and will assign to the object defined with name visit count. Okay, scriptlet tag is over. Now here we want to print a user ID and visit count. For that we will take a label, this coding is from Java, so we will again enclose this part in scriptlet tag. Here we want to print the user ID for a particular session. For that I wrote out.print into bracket user ID. Okay, now skip the line using br tag. Now print the value, next value, number of visits done by a client for a particular web page, right? For that again I will take one label, number of visits, and then I will print the value of visit count object using out.print method. Okay, I repeat, I want to print a user ID as well as the number of visit count, whatever stored in visit count, that we want to print over here, the number of page visited. Then I will destroy the session using invalidate method, right? Invalidate method. Now using invalidate method we will destroy our session, right? Now just call this method with the help of object of session. As you know that this object is implicit object of JSP, there is no need to create this object by a programmer. Okay, you can directly use this object. As you can see here, we have already used this object session and line number 12, line number 13, and on line number 19, as well as in our main.jsp we have already used the object session without defining it, without creating it, right? Here you can see session dot get creation, session dot get last access time, set attribute, again with the help of session, right? No need to define it. So we call invalidate method for removing the whole session. As you can see, we can call this method to discard an entire session, right? Let us execute our program. We'll begin with main.jsp. Run your file. This session automatically destroys when you close your browser, or it destroys if the session time out, right? Okay, refresh it 4-5 times, refresh it. Okay, now we will run our destroy.jsp page. Here you can see user ID ABCD, number of visits 6. Okay, go back main.jsp and refresh it. You can see the last row, number of visits changed to 1. Why is it so? Because we run the destroy.jsp page, and in that page we did a coding for destroying our current session, right? And for that we wrote one method. We call this method session.invalidate. So here refresh it 3 times. We visited this page. Okay, now instead of main, take destroy. We run this file destroy.jsp, move back main.jsp and refresh it. This will begin from 1. Okay, if we do not mention this method, comment it and save your file. Begin with main.jsp. First of all, close your session, close your browser and run it again. It started with 1. Refresh it for the 4th time. Now run destroy.jsp. User ID is same, number of visits you have done. For the 4th time, go back main.jsp, refresh it. It will change to 5. Why it happens? Do you know? Because from the destroy.jsp we remove this method invalidate, which is able to destroy your whole session, right? So we enable this method, so nothing is happened in this page, and the page counting continue from the 4th time. See, refresh it, you will get 6. Refresh it one more time, it will change to 7. Once again destroy, we will run. Go back to main page, refresh it, you will get 8. Now active this method for destroying your current session. Okay, and you can provide a link to move to the destroy JSP. As we are writing over here, we are changing in address bar. Instead of that, you can provide one link to move to the next page, main.jsp. Here insert one more trtd, one more row, right? See, the current session is still running. Now go to next page, go back, refresh it, and you can see it is changed to 1. Fine. So this is the technique. You can remove or destroy your session. Let us one more time go through the same page. Here I initialize the visit count variable with 0, user ID with ABCD, right? Then in this variable, even you can take different name to avoid confusion. You can take different name, VC and ID. This is just a name of variables, nothing else, or we can say this is just a name of objects, nothing else, right? These attributes are set by the page main.jsp. We are not assigning anything. We are not assigning anything to these variables. We are just getting the value of previous page. Here we have already assigned that values 0 and ABCD, and then later on change this value that we are getting with the help of get attributes, right? Instead of defining an object of type integer and string, you can create a variable also like this, integer VC. Okay, make this lines comment. Same way we'll define string ID. Run your program one more time, save this file. Our flow will begin from the main.jsp. Run your file. Here you can see we are visiting this web page for the first time, so it is showing 1. The creation time is 10:10 and 25 seconds. The last time we access means that it is showing the current time, right? Refresh this page. Here the number of visits is changed to okay, and click on this link to move to the next page. Here you can see user ID is ABCD, number of visits 2. Go back to your main page, refresh it. Right, this way you can do it. this is our example number 11. Note down this both examples in your journals. Okay, so this is all about our session tracking method using session object. In today's session we learned how to destroy a current session using invalidate method, right? Even you can remove your session attribute with the help of remove attribute, that also we learn. And you can do some changes in web.xml configuration file for session timeout, right? You can expire the session by setting this attribute in your web XML file. Meet you in the next session with new topic, cookies. Till then, take care and bye. Thank you.